Dear Diary, unfortunately we blew things against Dundalk in the interview derby, but hopefully showed them what I could have offered them. Off the back of that we beat Suffolk in the Intermediate Cup first round, only to get beaten in the league after that by Armagh City thanks to an early penalty. Our form at the time had been on the decline for a little bit, so we went back to the future with a proper low block and defensive line, as well as forcing the opposition outside. It seems to have helped as we backed up a 0-0 draw against division favourites Moyola Park, with wins in our next two games including in the second round of the Irish Intermediate Cup, so maybe we've figured things out. Personally, I've got my National C licence, so maybe that's behind the form improvement, and the club have also allowed me to study for my B licence as well, so we're moving up in the managerial world. High five, Teddy! Next up, we look for a bit of revenge on Queens University Belfast in the last round of the Peaky Blinders Irish Cup qualifying, after they beat us at home in the league the last time we met. It was a game we definitely should have got something out of, so hopefully with this decent run of form we're in at the moment, we can make it through to the cup draw proper. Until next time. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 5 of FMOE here on Shaun Does FM with Banbridge Town. I hope you are doing well, and coming up today, as mentioned in the intro, we take on Queens University Belfast in the final round of qualifying for the Peaky Blinders Irish Cup. So if you're looking forward to this one, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated, but hopefully that intro did catch you guys up on what has happened off the back of our last episode. If you missed that one, I'll leave a link to it over in the top right corner. As you can see in the top right there in terms of fixtures, we have picked up a few wins in our last couple of games, albeit some of those were friendly, so if we ignore those, the form doesn't quite look as good, but it does seem like we might have just turned our form around as mentioned with that low block, as well as trying to force our opposition to the outside. It'll be interesting to see how this does work today against a team who did beat us earlier in the league season at home as well, albeit as mentioned in the intro, probably a game that we should have won. But as you can see, we've just found a little bit of form in our last couple of games, and what that does mean for the league table as we do enter this last qualifying round of the Irish Cup, as we do currently find ourselves smack bang in mid-table 6. So we are just inside of where the cutoff for the championship group will be come the end of the regular season. The top half of teams in this division enter a championship group for the last few games of the season and play the teams from the top half, and the bottom 6 teams play each other in the relegation group. So ideally we would make that championship group, and that would make sure we are not going to end up in a relegation battle. We kind of mentioned that in the last episode, but just thought that we'd clarify that a little bit more. There is a second kind of section to the league season here in Northern Ireland in the 3rd tier, and hopefully we can qualify for that top one, especially if we can continue some of this form that we have just found over our last few games with that low block. But as mentioned, we do take on Queens University Belfast today. They are right behind us as well on that league table, in fact only behind us based on goal differential, so it is going to be quite an interesting game here, but with home advantage, hopefully we can make the most of that and make our way through to the draw proper for the Peaky Blinders Irish Cup. Absolutely fantastic name that is, and we could maybe get a big team for the first round of that competition. Will be interesting to see who we do get off the back of this game if we can pick up the W. In terms of our opposition, they actually come into this one in a decent patch of form, 3 wins from their last 5 games, even though as mentioned they are just below us technically on the league table, and it does look like they do like to play a 5-3-2 there according to their manager, so it's going to be interesting to see how we do get on here against 5 at the back. But as I said, hopefully on recent form, this is a game that we can pick up a win in and make our way through to that draw proper. And we have no injury concerns at all going into this one, which is very nice. A few players who have been really key for us so far in this save. Stephen McKevitt, the top goal scorer with 8 goals. He was one of the highest rated players when we did come here, and as you can see, his form so far this season has been very good, so hopefully he can keep that up In today's episode, as I've mentioned over the last few episodes, Ronan Keller, a player who we did get in on loan from Premiership team the Carrick Rangers. He has also done a great job for us so far at 19 years old. Definitely a player I would like to bring to the club if we could afford to permanently, with the whole wage structure and how players these days in Football Manager do demand quite a high appearance fee, at least in terms of what we can actually afford to pay them here at Banbridge Town. And one other player has actually done a really good job for us so far in this save. He is supposed to be a left winger, but we have been playing him up front alongside McKevitt, and that is Lumi Conway. He is on loan from Crusaders, so another Premiership team here in Northern Ireland. Definitely a player who looks like he'd be a bit more natural out on that left-hand side, so maybe we can adjust him in the future to play out there if someone like Connor Downey does start to regress in terms of his ability. But so far, Conway doing a great job for us up front alongside McKevitt, so hopefully that also continues in this upcoming game, but we'll come back shortly and hopefully, as I said, make our way through to the draw proper for this season's Peaky Blinders Irish Cup as we take on Queens University Belfast from Crystal Park. And we do get TV coverage for this last qualifying round of this cup competition. There we are, as I said, these days. That is our first choice 11 here at Banbridge Town. Hopefully can keep our good form up. Queens University Belfast are playing that 5 at the back system, so it's going to be interesting to see here how we do get on against quite a defensively minded team. And we're coming up towards half-time in this one. Our first proper highlight does start with a goal kick here, which we did have the ball from, but they do win it back there to Queens University Belfast in the white and black, but good work there from Conway to get that back to us. Plays that to Soje at left back. He'll play a ball over the top, but unfortunately no one is there to run onto it, and Smythe in goal is there to tidy things up for the University. He pumps that deep, it's not in, wins that ball in the air, heads that down to Connor Downey. We play a ball over the top. Conway does win that header, but unfortunately heads that straight into the path of an opposition player, but then we get it back and Conway gets played through here. He continues his great form for this season so far. It's Shaun OG Gallagher who plays the assist. It's a lovely finish there into that bottom right corner, and just before half time here we do grab a 1-0 lead, and that's quite relieving because we have been pretty dominant so far in terms of stats, quite similar to the last time we played these guys in the league, and this time we put the ball in the back of the net just before half time and Conway makes it 1-0. And only a few minutes off the back of that opening goal, we are back down in their half here with a throw-in, and we just knock it about off the back of that. McLaughlin with a ball over the top, looking for the goal scorer in Conway, and now McKevitt just holds the ball here outside the box. It's a lovely ball, far post there for Connor Downey. He'll put that away past their goalkeeper at his near side, and that is a brilliant little spell for us there. Right before half-time, we grab a cushion goal, which we absolutely love here on the channel, that 2-goal cushion, which we are always looking for. Nice ball there from McKevitt. Downey on the volley, just does enough to sneak that past the goalkeeper, and it looks like we're going to go into the sheds with a 2-0 lead. And indeed, we do take a 2-0 lead into half-time here against Queens University Belfast in the final round of qualifying for the Northern Irish Cup. Of course, it is the Northern Irish Cup, even though the competition does just say Irish, so that's been getting me in a bit of a twisted tongue situation, but a pretty good first half from us there, and capped off with those 2 goals before half-time. We're going to make no changes here at the break because pretty happy with how that first half went. Does look like the low block with that low defensive line is working well, and we'll get things back underway with that 2-0 lead. And just past the hour mark, we are going to make our first substitution here, the one that is recommended by our assistant manager. Steers down to a red. Hart Anderson will come on for him, about to enter the last 20 minutes, and still 2-0 up. And just as we are about to cut off that little blurb, there is a highlight here. Downey will put the ball into the mixer with a corner. Queens Uni do head that away, but we get that back out to Downey in a bit of space. Puts that far post for Ronan Keller. He's been more of a creative player so far in this save, but he's starting to chip in now with goals as well. That is his third one of the season. It's a good far post here. Those balls over the top do seem to be working today, as we saw in the first half with that second goal to Downey, who did just set that one up. Nice ball over the top, completely unmarked there is the young winger. He puts that one away, and surely that will kill this game off now. 3-0 with just over 20 minutes left. And while we are here, we'll make another substitution as well. McLaughlin at right back is only going okay, so Jack Hill, the guy, was pretty much costing us a lot of money here at the moment because we are paying for his loan, of course, as we revealed in yesterday's episode. He can come on and actually earn some of that money. Definitely a player who we probably need to try and get rid of if we can, albeit the loan is one that cannot be terminated, as that is putting the club into a bit of a tricky financial situation. All the other loans that we did were for players who we weren't paying, so I'm not too sure how that one did just slip by me, but we're going to play him while he is still here, and we are on the attack here. Yet again, nice ball there from Keller into the mixer, but Queens Uni do deal with that, but we are back on the attack here. Hill with a ball over the top, looking for Conway, but he puts that one just wide, and still 3-0 with just under 20 minutes left. And it's nearly full time in this one, only a few minutes left. We are going to make our final substitution. Ronan Keller has been pretty important for us so far in this save. He did pick up an injury recently, and I do feel like that was somewhat coincidental with when our form did drop off. So what we are going to do is take him off here. I think we'll bring on Joshua Quinn for him. And indeed, Connor Downey can do an okay job at right back. So we'll bring him on. We'll also see if we can do any more substitutions. But with this being a cup competition, we can't. And we enter the last few minutes of this one. 3 minutes of added time. We will have one more highlight. But so far, quite a good performance, especially defensively. That has been our real Achilles heel so far with this team. And with this 4-4-2 wing play, hopefully, we've sorted that out now based on this display here against Queens University Belfast, albeit we should get a decent test off the back of this in the league as well. Now Quinn from a tight angle will square that one for Lumi Conway. He will pick up another goal. He continues to do well for us up front, despite the fact it's not really a position he does like to play, and he's told me that plenty in pre-match things that do pop up when you do the team selection. He's definitely a player who would rather play on the left wing. A little bit of a fortunate deflection there off that ball from Quinn, but it does find its way to Conway. Buries that in the bottom right corner, and we are going to pick up here a very convincing 4-0 win against Queens University Belfast. Get a little bit of revenge on those guys after they did beat us at home earlier in the league season, and that is a very, very good, solid overall performance from us there, only allowing one shot on target, keeping a clean sheet for the first time in a while, and that does mean we will make our way through to the Irish Cup proper. So we'll come back shortly and reveal who we do get in the draw for that. Hopefully a nice big team that we can come back and play in the next episode. So a really good win for us there in that last qualifying round for the Sadler's Peaky Blinder Irish Cup. One of the best performances we've had so far this season, especially against the team in the same division as us. And that did mean we made our way through to the first round draw for this competition. There were tons of teams in there, so we did just draw all teams at the same time. We have actually got quite a tasty matchup in the next round of this competition. It is against Lana FC. They are one of the better teams here in Northern Ireland. They are from the Premiership, so that will be a really good test for us as we do take on a team from the top division here in Northern Ireland for the first time competitively. And I think that might be when we do come back for the next episode. It is quite a little way away on the 14th of January, but between now and then we should get for a decent chunk of the league season, and hopefully can start to match our way up the league table as well off the back of that slight change in tactical style that we have done with that lower defensive line and the low block. But we are going to be hosting Lana FC. There isn't a great deal of financial benefit from going deep in this competition, which is a little bit disappointing. I was kind of hoping it might work out a little bit like the FA Cup, of course, when a lower league team does go on a run in that competition over in England. But still, this would probably be a good way to get the reputation of the club up if we can pick up a few upsets in this competition, albeit that is going to be easier said than done, as we are going to take on the team who currently find themselves third in the top tier here in Northern Ireland. They are a 2-star reputation club. They play a 4-3-3. It is going to be a struggle taking on a club with better facilities. They're actually a professional club as well. There's not too many of those here in Northern Ireland, certainly none that we've taken on so far in this save, and as well as that, of course, they are third in the league, and that would be enough for them to end up in the qualifiers for the Conference League in Europe next season as well. So this will be a good test for us coming up in the next episode against top division opposition when we do take on Lana in the first round of that Northern Irish Cup. But that will do it for today's episode. Just starting to turn things around here, it does feel like, at Banbridge Town off the back of a little bit of a rough patch in and around that last episode. Hopefully we can start to make our way up the table with these games that we do have coming up in December. Those games against Lisburn Distillery and Dollingstown, those are two teams who are right up at the moment in that promotion hunt. So if we can get results against those guys away from home, that would be quite nice. Of course, Dollingstown we did beat fairly comfortably from memory on the first day of the league season. It was 4-0 at home, so if we can beat those guys away, that could potentially get us right back into a promotion hunt, and at the very least it should put those doubts of relegation behind us that were here from that season preview when we did join the club. But a few important league games that we do have in between now and when we do come back for that next episode for that first round of the Northern Irish Cup. But if you did enjoy today's episode, that good win there against Queens University Belfast, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. And until tomorrow, where we do take on top tier opposition in Lana in the first round of the Northern Irish Cup, and also the transfer window will open. We'll see if we loan in any more players or maybe get rid of some who are costing us lots of money. Until then, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.